This is a box of fat, box of duck fat. This is all the fat that I've been collecting over my harvest season. So I had 31 ducklings that made the migration to the freezer this year. And as I, took them in, kind of batches of 2 to 4 to 6 or whatever I was doing, I saved all the visceral fat. This stuff is amazing. We're gonna render this down so I can use it to make Confit Duck Legs. We're going to go through the whole process of how you take like a raw fat, and this is relevant whether you're using duck fat or if we're going to do this to if you have some beef fat or even pork fat. The rendering process is real similar, but we're going to do duck fat. We're going to render it down. We're going to turn it into a beautiful golden liquid that we can use as a cooking medium. I'm going to use this for Confit legs. Boom, legs. Duck legs, they're going to get cooked in their own fat. But duck fat's a great cooking medium on its own, whether you're cooking veggies or searing something. Mushrooms are amazing in duck fat. Eggs are great in duck fat. You can use it as a replacement for just about anything else that you're cooking with. Butter, olive oil, whatever. Okay, step one. How's my hair? It's fine. I'm always camera ready. Step one is not my hair. Step one is defrosting our fat. If it's frozen, we need to defrost it. Bowl of water, cold water, throw your packets of fat in there. Mine are flat packed, so they're gonna defrost pretty quick, maybe 45 minutes, they're all ready to go. From here, we're going in a pot. I like a heavy bottomed pot. I'm using a cast iron like Le Creuset. I know the enamel on the inside is not pretty anymore. This guy's like 30 years old. Stainless steel pot, like a all-clad pot would be a great choice also. Now my fat, I took it out of my own ducks and I know that it is pretty clean. I didn't wash it before I froze it because I didn't want to have water in my packets, but I know that my fat didn't have like guts on it or any fecal matter or anything like that. I do know that maybe there are a couple feathers here and there and whatever. So I do want to give it a rinse, and I highly recommend if you don't know where your fat's coming from, certainly rinse it. We want it to be clean. So there's no blood, just a nice fresh start here. The fat goes in the pot, and then we're gonna rinse it. We're gonna rinse it 3 times. So fill your pot up with cold water, swirl it around. I need to break up all of my chunks of fat that are, that were all pressed together in the cryovac. And I'll drain them out, and then I'll fill it back up. Do it a second time, fill it up, swirl them around, try and release any blood and whatever debris may be in there. Drain it, and then a third time, same thing, fill it up, swirl around, break up all your pieces, make sure that they're swimming, and then drain it one last time. All we need from here is 1 cup of water. So I'm gonna fill up a little cup of water, goes in the pot, and then pot is going on the stove on medium-high heat. We're gonna cover it, and we're gonna let it come up to temperature. If you have weird chunks of fat that are real big, you might want to cut them down so they match up in size a little better. Or if you've got like a big piece of neck skin, maybe cut it down to match up better, or go real small with it so it renders faster. Mine's relatively all the same size. As I was eviscerating my ducks, I was thinking ahead and trying to make it similarly sized. And most of mine were, kind of thumb-sized chunks or something like that, neighborhood. Maybe a couple bigger pieces of skin that I overlooked, but it's okay, it's gonna be fine. How much fat is in this pot? Well, this is a 3-quart pot, and I didn't weigh this fat, and I don't feel like you should have to. You should be able to apply this method to however much fat you have. If you have a 3 to 4 quart pot that is full of fat, you're gonna need 1 to 2 cups of water. I'll explain why in a minute. If you have less than that, if you just have like a little 1-quart pot that's full of fat, maybe you need half a cup of water. The purpose of the water is to create steam, to make the rendering process more gentle. So we're extracting all the fat, we're breaking it down with a moist heat method. If you don't have the water, then it's just frying in its own fat, and you're gonna end up with more browned pieces and a darker color than if you'd have the more gentle heat from the steam. Medium-high heat, you're gonna mix it around. You're gonna stir it every, 10 minutes or so, come by and you wanna try and get it cooking and get the fat looking like you don't have raw pieces. And we want it to move at a at a simmer, like a solid simmer. We don't want to boil it, but we also don't want it to just be going so slow that it's just like a couple bubbles here and there. We don't want to poach the fat. We want to simmer it. We need a decent amount of heat to get it to break down. And after you've been working it, you're stirring it, it's starting to, release some fat. It's mixing with the, you've got the water at the bottom of the pot, because how do oil and vinegar work, right? Oil goes on the top, vinegar goes on the bottom, water goes on the bottom, fat goes on the top. So we've got this layer of water in the pot that's protecting the fat from just sticking to the bottom too much and burning. But you still need to stir it. You still want to make sure that it's not gluing itself to the bottom and burning, especially if you've got crazy 1956 electric burners like I now have in this new house, old house that we're living in. I'm used to gas. I feel like gas, you've got a little bit more control. Electric, I'm getting used to it. But you want it to be moving at this kind of speed, just nice solid simmering speed. And after about an hour, it'll look more like this, just rolling along nice and smooth. And then after 2 hours, it's going to look like this. And by the time you get to like 3 hours, it's going to start getting clear, golden, beautiful color, and it'll look more like this. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going until, like, when you scoop up. So like if you see, look at this piece, it's still a chunk of fat, and I can smush it on the side of the pot, and there's more fat to render from that piece. That's not done. If you have chunks of what look like just cooked gooey fat, you got to keep going. We want the fat and any skin in there to be a golden brown, kind of like chicharrones, or if you're making, what do they call the fried chicken skin? Schmaltz, I want to say. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments. But I want as much fat to come out of the skin and all the fat to come out of the fat into solution, and I want just what's left behind to be crunchy little bits. You could save the crunchy little bits and make stuff with them. I'm not doing that this time because some of the skin has like little micro feathers, and that just kind of ruins things for me just a little bit. It can be a savable food product that creates other things. I could even see it being incorporated into like a sourdough bread, like bacon, or chopped up and put into like mashed potatoes or something like that. I chose to incorporate a lot of skin that was not picture perfect, so I couldn't really save all of my crispy little bits. Anyway, your choice. If your fat is just fat, that's an option. When is it done? So when we've got the crispy bits, right? So turn it off and let it cool for a bit, and then you can strain it through a sieve with cheesecloth. I'm not, because I have this really fine mesh chinois, the sieve, and I'm going to pour it into a bowl, and I'm going to toss my crispy bits, and then I'm going to let this cool off a little bit on a towel on the granite, and then I'll store it in mason jars. Make sure that if you're going in mason jars, should I edit that out? Nah, it's fine. That your mason jars, you're not putting super hot, ripping hot fat into a cold mason jar, because mason jars are super durable, but if the mason jar is cold and the fat is hot, the mason jar will break, and then you have all this hard work all over your counter, or you have broken glass that you need to deal with, and skip that problem. So if your fat is super hot, get your mason jar hot. All you need to do is run it in under some hot water and let it sit with some hot water in it for a few minutes, drain it out, wipe it out, and then you can fill it with your fat, and then let these guys cool on the counter on a towel, so you're not putting the hot jar of fat on then the cold granite, and then you're back in the same boat with cold and hot glass, and then it breaks. So be warned. What do you do with it? You store it in the fridge. What did I use this for? Well, you already know that I was making confit duck legs, and I did that. That happened already, and that's why there's this brown stuff on the bottom of my jar. Now, I stored it in the fridge, and when I was ready to use it, here are my confit duck legs. They're in a pot, and I'm just going to spoon in the fat that I need. And I ended up using, did I use all this? No, this one I didn't use. So I used all of this fat to confit the 4 legs. We usually have confit legs on Thanksgiving, and it's usually the first duck from our most recent harvest. So that's when we first get into our most recent duck harvest, is for Thanksgiving. Pan roasted breasts, confit legs, it's wonderful. And then I can save it. It's not trash. I usually get like 4 rounds of confit duck legs out of this before it starts to like taste salty. And then I'll be in a position where I have to decide if I can use it anymore, or is it too salty. Now, what's this other little jar? So this little jar is all the fat that rendered out of the breasts that I cooked. And you can see there's some drippings, there's some juice in there. No big deal. I'm gonna end up using this up before there's any risk of this making it go rancid. And it should be pretty protected by the fat, like it protected from air. So I shouldn't have to worry about this going rancid. Same with this. And when I was done confing the legs, I did clarify this. I heated it back up and cooked off whatever liquid was in there as much as I could, and clarified it, until it was golden again and real clear. And then back in jars, back in the fridge, and it's hanging out. It's shelf stable. How long will this last? Well, in a mason jar in the fridge, at least a year. I would say it'd probably be solid, year and a half, 2 years, no problem. If you cryovac it into, flat pack it, cryovac it, put it in the freezer, man, like I don't know if it would ever go bad. It would definitely be good for a solid 1 to 3 years. So it'll last a long time. You can work your way through it, making all kinds of things. If you've got butter in a recipe, replace it with duck fat. If you're gonna cook with olive oil, replace it with duck fat. Roasting potatoes, duck fat. If you're making popcorn, duck fat. It will absolutely change the flavor profile of the things that you're making, and the richness and the depth that it adds will blow your mind. It's incredible. It's hard to go back from cooking with an animal fat, especially duck fat. It's got a really unique flavor, but beef fat too. It's hard to not use it once you get into it, because it's delicious. So simple project, just takes a little bit of time, and once it's done, I mean, if I were just cooking with this, I feel like this would get me through a lot of time of cooking. It's a lot of fat.